I hear it. Welcome back to the channel, folks. My name is Brad, and it is a beautiful April day out here at Piney Grove. And hopefully at the end of this video, we'll finally end the water well or the good water saga of Piney Grove. You've seen several videos over the past few months or so where we've drilled our original well, and then we came back and re-drilled that original well because we had sediments and we put a screen in it. And then that still didn't give us the quality and clarity of water that we wanted. So then Bush Services came back and re-drilled a new well up the hill. So what's going to happen today is they're going to install the well pump down about 120, 140 feet. The water table's at 100 feet. So we'll get the exact measurements of how deep that the pump's going to go. And then we're going to run water lines over here to the old well where the pressure tank is. And I've already got the trench dug. I dug that with our excavator, our KX71-3 Kubota excavator. And that trench is dug. We'll bring the water into where the current well is and the current pressure tank, and we'll hook it all up and hopefully power up the pump and have good water by the end of this video. So stay tuned and let's see if Piney Grove gets good water today. So as a recap, there's our old well right there in the corner. You can see it with the power going to it. And there's all the manifolds that give water to the new house being built and the shed and the pole barn. But unfortunately, that water had too many sediments. We put a filter on it. You can see the filter there, and that filter just gets totally clogged up with sediments. So we're gonna keep that as an active well and use it for filling the pond and maybe watering animals and such, but it won't be our primary water source. So up the hill there, you'll see the other well, and we have a whole video on that well and how it got drilled. And then I dug this trench here, and we're gonna bring in the water line to that vertical pipe in front of you, and then bring it into the pressure tank, and then hook it up to this manifold. Okay, they're on site with the well pump. So they've got the small service truck with this derrick, or whatever you call it. And then they have the well line. Okay, I'm no well expert here, but I talked to the guys who are, and I'm gonna try and relay that information. So we've got an 8-inch well casing, and inside of that we've got a 4-inch well casing, and the 4-inch well casing goes down to 210 feet, I think, and the bottom 40 feet of that 4-inch is a screen, all incorporated at the 4-inch diameter. Now we're gonna take 1 1/4 standpipe and go down 160 feet. The water table's at 100, so the pump will be suspended 60 feet below the water table. We're gonna put in a 1.5-horse pump at 20 gallons per minute, and we're gonna run 1 1/4 up to the top. We're gonna elbow that down into the trench and then run 1 1/4 all the way to the pump house. And then we're gonna reduce that 1 1/4 to 1 inch. So we're gonna have 1 1/4 flow all the way to the pump house. Then we'll go down to 1 inch and we'll do the pressure tank. So let's watch this happen. That will be the first 1 1/4 20-foot section of PVC. Actually, I think it's much taller than 20 foot. But you can see him putting the couplings on it, so it's a metal coupling so that you can unscrew the standpipe. And what he's doing over here with the Sawzall is he's cutting off the well. It was kind of high, and he's got a 4-inch coupler where they join pipe together. He's cutting that off the top of the coupling so it'll look nice and neat. And you can see the pump right there. "20 gallons per minute, stainless, 1.5 horsepower, 230 volt. And that's a pretty tall pump. All right, them boys are hard at work. They got that pump hooked up to the 1 1/4 standpipe, and the other boy is putting together the pipes with the pipe dope and the fitting. So I'm gonna let them work for a minute, and get away from them, because we started talking about all sorts of things and it slowed them down, and I want this thing to be done at the end of the day. So it's better if I just walk away. Okay, piece by piece, the pump is going down inside the well. You see the wire cable goes down as the pump goes down. In every section of pipe that goes in, they secure the wire cable to the PVC. Then they put that little clamp on it so it won't go down any further. That holds it in place. Then they go get another piece of pipe, unscrew that one out of that adapter, and they come over and grab another piece. Well, folks, nothing's easy here at Piney Grove. So they didn't have enough wire to go all the way from the well to the pump house where the electricity is, and there's no more wire available. So thank you, COVID, for that. There's wire available somewhere, just not readily available today on a Friday. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna run the pump off the generator, make sure that the pump works, pumps down inside the well, 160 feet. And then we've run a bunch of water lines, 1.25 inch water lines down the hill, and we're going to just look at the quality of water. And then once we've flushed that out, then we're going to go ahead and put the water pipe in the trench, but not hook up the pressure tank behind me. And then they'll come back another day and hook up the pressure tank and run the electrical line. So they've got a generator on the truck. So they'll hook the generator up to those power lines right there. They'll energize the well pump, and then they'll shoot the water down the hill here. Won't hurt anything. Some of it might even make it to the pond. You'll see the pond in the background, back there. It's low, but that's a whole nother video. He's hooking up the generator, and whatever water comes out of this pipe will be water from the second well, but the third attempt at Piney Grove. All right, guys, this is it. This is new well, new Piney Grove well. Tastes like PVC. It actually tastes like that pipe dope. But I don't feel grit, so that's good. It's nice and cool. All right, we'll come back to this in a minute. All right, guys, we've been letting this run for about 15 or 20 minutes, and we don't see any sediments, no discoloration. I mean, I just don't see anything wrong with this water. It'll take some time to run it through the pressure tank and run it through the filter to see if we trap any sediments. But what I'm seeing is already better than the first well that went in. And so I think we're well on our way to having a solution here for good, clean water at Piney Grove. Okay, we let that run about, I don't know, 30 minutes or so. And the water was clean in the beginning, and it stayed clean throughout. So there's no need to run this for hours and hours, I don't think, at this point. So what they're doing now is they're putting a 1.25 inch line from the well over to the pump house. And that's as far as they're gonna be able to get today. They'll neck that down from 1.25 to 1 inch and bring it into the pump house. But like I said, they don't have the electrical, and the electrical has to go in the same trench. And also I need an electrician to come up and put a junction box up by the well. And the reason you don't want to run a continuous wire, which is what I thought we were going to do, is because if you ever have well servicing in the future and you got to pull that standpipe and that pump out of that 4-inch well, you need to be able to disconnect the electric. The well driller doesn't want to, or whoever is maintaining your well doesn't want to come here and have to cut wires. So we do have to put a junction box up there. So we'll have 160 feet of electrical down to the pump, and then whatever the distance is from this pump house up to the well, the other well, we'll have another run of electrical that'll tie into the electrical box over my left shoulder that brings power from the mega shed over here to the well house or the pump house. I need to get a shovel, clean this trench out. We had that rainstorm last night, and there's a little bit of dirt in the bottom of this trench. All right, trench is all clean, ready for them to put the pipe in. really happy that we're doing 1 1/4, bring as much volume of water as possible from the well. Plus it's downhill, so gravity will help. But yeah, we're making progress. I know we had comments on the video where we had sediments in our well, and they're like, you know, a lot of people were like, man, you got a great company there. They came back, they fixed the well. This is that same company. They're just great people. I like talking to them, and it's Friday and they probably want to be done with this job and be gone, but I just really enjoy being out here with good people that like to work hard and do a good job. Well, but this is Bailey, and Bailey is coming off of the new well, coming out about 8 or 10 inches, and then going straight down into the trench with the 1 1/4 pipe. And because we're in Florida, we don't really have a frost line at all, so you don't have to bury pipe very deep in Florida. But I went ahead and dug this trench with Precious. It's a good 18 inches or more. And just to keep that pipe deep enough away from any kind of tillage or anything I might do. Now this is already established grass, well, where there is grass, but I just don't want any issues in the future. All right, Bailey's putting in the one-way check valve here. What that'll do is keep water from, it'll keep the lines full of water so the pump doesn't have to keep repriming itself, or at least the pump doesn't have to send water up 160 feet up this line, because water will be trapped by this one-way check valve. And we got some of this expensive all-in-one glue, no primer needed, they told me last time.
Yeah, it's like, I guess they call it hot glue. It burns hotter than regular glue.
All right, they got the 1 1/4 in all the way to here. And now we're going to connect that 1 1/4 line over here to the 1 inch line. All right, Bailey's gonna hook the 1 inch to the 1 1/4 with a reducing bushing and a coupler. Giving Bailey a hard time here because everyone likes to work under pressure, because that's just fun. All right, folks, we have water to the pump house concrete pad. Now he's going to go up and hook the generator back up to the pump, and we should get water coming out of this 1 inch pipe. All right, he's cranked up the generator in the pump, the well pump, and we should see water shortly. I hear it. That was dirty water. That was dirty water from the actual pipe. It's cool, no grit. All right, we've done all we can do. Boys are loaded up. Okay, I turned the old well on because I want to flush out the lines going to the house. And even though the old well has sediments, it does have a filter. And we should be able to push some fairly clean water through the lines. Turn these 2 valves on. That should flush the lines. Flush out this a little bit. Close that off. See, I got water coming out and down by the house. Should have water coming by my truck as well. I got a line there. Okay, I've got them flushed out individually. So this one goes to the house, so I'm going to turn this one off. Now that stopped the flow to the house, and it increased the flow. I can see more water coming out of the one by the shed and the one going to the pole barn. So I'll give that a good rinse. Pressure on the tank is really low because we're sending all the volume of the pump down these lines. See a little bit of sediments, actually quite a bit of sediments here on the filter. The pump is steadily running. Let me show you this. So this well hasn't been turned on in a while. Got a little bit of sediments here, and you have some, you can see the sand collecting in the bottom. I don't know if you can see it good from this angle. So you just turn on this valve and it'll clear them out. But this filter will actually get hooked up to the new well Right now it's just hooked up to the old well. Okay, at this point I've turned off the external line going to the house, the external line going to the shed in the pole barn, and the external line coming out of the pressure tank. And you can see the pressure building in the tank. It's currently at 30, and the pressure switch will tell it to turn off at about 60. There's the pressure switch, and it senses pressure through this little tube here, and then the pump is down inside that well. So we're almost 60, and we'll listen to the switch. And you heard it, when the pump, or when the pressure hit 60, the switch turned off the well pump, and now we have 60 pounds of pressure just sitting in this tank. Okay, so today was not the complete success that we wanted, which was, new well water completely hooked up to the pressure tank and using that new well to flush these lines. It's just with supply chain issues, and they don't normally run underground direct burial cable that long. They just don't keep that much electrical cable in stock. But we did test the new well. The water looks good. The electrical wire going down to the pump is good, obviously, because the pump turned on. So we did make a lot of progress. And of course, we got the 1 1/4 inch line hooked to the 1 inch line coming into the pump house. But we're getting through this slowly but surely. We're getting through this. We're going to have resolution, but this won't be the last well video for Piney Grove. There'll be another one for the final hookup, and then we'll celebrate on that one. But if you would, click the like button at the bottom. It helps out our channel. Subscribe if you haven't already. Subscribing is 100% free, and share with your friends, people out there that are doing things similar to what we're doing, or maybe contemplating it, and show them what we're doing out here. Maybe it'll give them some ideas, or maybe they'll comment below and give us some ideas of what we should do. Otherwise, that's all I've got for you today. We'll catch you on the next one. Take care, y'all.